Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 757 of the Juicebox Podcast. On today's episode of the podcast, Arden has returned. My daughter Arden was first on the podcast in August of 2021. Wow, over a year ago. Sorry. I know I said I'd get her back on. I didn't know it was going to take a year. Anyway, she was first on episode 517. I think it's called Meet Arden. And today she came on, well, you'll see in a second. But much like all of the episodes, I had no idea where this was going to go. My intention was to have Arden on and we were going to talk right before she left for college about some things that I wanted to reinforce with her, but it didn't go that way. Anyway, while you're listening, please remember that nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan or becoming bold with insulin. If you have type 1 diabetes, or you're the caregiver of someone with type 1 diabetes, please go to t1dexchange.org/juicebox. Join the registry, complete the survey. When you complete the survey, you're helping people with type 1, you're helping yourself, and you're helping the Juicebox Podcast. t1dexchange.org/juicebox. This show is sponsored today by the glucagon that my daughter carries, Gvoke HypoPen. Find out more at gvokeglucagon.com/juicebox. Today's podcast is also sponsored by Dexcom, makers of the Dexcom G6 continuous glucose monitoring system. You may be eligible for a free 10-day trial of the Dexcom G6. Go find out at dexcom.com/juicebox. Okay.
I want to shower.
What now?
Why are you moving away from me?
Because I don't want our microphones to pick each other up.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm going to go
Why
over.
do you get the nice chair?
It's my office.
It's my last day here. You don't know what could happen to me.
Is that how you want to start this?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
I have a wedgie on.
All right, fix your wedgie.
Oh, okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Terrific. It's been a while since you've been on the podcast. Mm-hmm. People ask for you to come back all the time.
Okay.
I try not to bug you about it.
No, well, you do.
I do bug you a little bit. Talk right into that thing.
It's right next to me. I don't know what else I could talk into.
Hand me my drink, please.
No. This one?
That's fine.
Do you want this one?
For now, yeah. Thank you.
I just said... Okay.
So it's late at night, and we're getting ready to go to sleep and sleep for a few hours.
11:17 to be exact.
And then we're going to take you to school in the morning. Mm-hmm. Long drive, about 15 hours.
Yes.
Taking 2 cars, packed full of stuff.
Yes.
You think you're ready to go?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're definitely ready to go? Mm-hmm. Do you feel nervous?
No.
Okay. So I've been wanting to do this with you.
Okay.
So that we don't have to do it for real. You know what I mean?
No. This it feels for real to me. You're sitting right in front of me.
I mean, I'm recording it, which is odd. But I don't want to, I don't know. I've tried my best over the years, right? To pass off your stuff to you very slowly. And for years, people have said, either that's a great idea or that's not going to work. One or the other. So I guess I want to ask you, how ready do you feel to take care of your diabetes stuff by yourself?
I don't know, like an 8.6.
Out of?
10.
That's not bad.
I mean, I had a seizure, so.
Well.
That brings down my scale. Just by a point.
What was the short one? Are you going to tell people about that?
Oh, yeah, I had a seizure, yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
I don't know, I feel like, never mind.
What do you feel like?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this out.
Why?
I was gonna say, I feel like some of these people might take it more seriously than I do.
Well, do you think you don't take it seriously?
No, I take it seriously to the amount of serious it needs to be taken.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think that anybody's going to be put off by...
I don't know, I've told a lot of people and they're like, they're just so serious. And I'm like, oh, make a joke out of it.
Well, they don't know what to say. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right. So first things first, you are going to go to a hotter climate. And you're going to be moving around more than usual, right? You're going to be taking buses instead of driving places. And we expect there's going to be some adjustments that need to be made. So are you worried about that?
No, I'm not worried at all.
If I said, if I dropped dead right now, I went right over. Heart attack, probably.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And that happens.
Could be a stroke.
Or a stroke. And you...
Maybe like an embolism, or is that how you say it?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Are you showing off your Grey's Anatomy stuff?
I watch a little Grey's Anatomy here and there.
So...
I might have to restart because Derek's going to die soon.
If you were completely on your own and you got to school and found that you were having pretty consistent low blood sugars, would you know what to look at?
Yeah, the low blood sugar.
No.
This is really late.
It is late here, but on your settings, would you know what to do?
I don't know what the it's called. Sorry. I would see the word and I would click it, yeah.
Yeah, what would the word be?
I don't know. I have to look at my phone.
Do you want to look?
Is it not like the insulin to carb? Not that. It's the I know you could like take basal away and all that.
Right.
But that's not even what you're talking about. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Let me grab my cellular.
Okay. So you think one of the ideas might be to lower your basal, make your basal weaker.
Yeah, but
Okay. And the other thing,
is it the I don't know, there's a lot of stuff on here. But is it the insulin sensitivity?
right?
Yeah.
Right. And then of course the insulin sensitivity, if it was, let's just make up a number, say it was 50 right now.
Oh, we went through this.
Right? And you were getting low.
One of them's like, you make it low, you make it high. I don't know. I'll text you.
But would you make it
first time?
But would you make it 51 or 49 if you were getting low?
49.
Wrong.
Oh. That was a wild guess. I don't know. I'll text you.
Okay.
The first time. And then I'll write it on a post-it note. And then we'll be fine.
So your insulin sensitivity, right?
I knew that word.
Is
once I was looking at it.
1 unit moves you 50 points if the number's 50.
Okay.
So we would want it to move you not as far if we wanted it to be weaker. That makes sense?
That's why I said 49.
No, the lower you make the number, the more aggressive it's going to be.
Dad.
The higher you make the number, the less aggressive it's going to be.
When you speak to me, the words go in one ear and out the other. I don't know how these people listen to it. You just said something and my brain went, okay.
So we took screenshots of all your settings and we'll send them to me. And then over the next couple of days, as you settle into your, routine, we'll make adjustments where we need to make adjustments. What's the thing you think you'll struggle with the most?
Are we talking about life or diabetes?
Diabetes right now.
Okay. Well, because I was going to say choosing an outfit to wear, but that's not the answer. I don't know, probably just at night.
Overnight.
I'm not, anything that happens to me during the day, I'm not scared about because I know I can just fix it.
Mm-hmm.
But at night, that's the only thing, just because, I won't be awake. So,
Yeah.
You could, in your sleep.
You could, in your sleep. That's 100% true.
Yeah.
So we have roommates. You'll have a roommate. And you'll have
3 roommates,
okay.
technically. Yeah.
So somebody in your room and then 2 more people in your suite.
Yeah.
And we're going to teach them, have you thought about this? What you want to say to them?
No.
They all know, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I got to tell you, Dad.
It's
going to be a surprise.
No, I know you told them, but did you tell them there's going to be stuff we're going to want to explain to you?
I said that my dad wants to sit down and talk to you guys, and they said, okay, sounds good. And I went, I don't know what they sound like, so I just made that voice up. But
and so we're gonna talk with them. We'll show them how to use the Gvoke Hypo pen in case you need that, right?
Yeah, one of them's got to be, willing. So
willing?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So let's talk more about day-to-day stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to get up in the morning. Do you think you're going to eat right away?
Yo, what?
Do you think you'll get up and eat before you go to class?
Well, I guess it depends what class I have. I have classes at different times every day.
Right. So your fasting blood sugars are really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's quite the compliment.
It is quite the compliment. Meaning you can get up in the morning and accomplish a lot without your blood sugar rising or falling. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like you can also sleep in the morning without getting too low, stuff like that.
Correct.
Right. A lot of people can't do that.
Oh.
So
that must suck.
It probably does.
Sorry, guys.
So if you got up early for an 8 a.m. and went from an 8 to 10, I could see you being able to pull that off without eating.
Yeah, I have that twice a week.
Okay. And then you have other days where you have an 11 a.m. Do you think...
Oh my God, Dad,
what's your blood sugar?
Shut up. Unreal.
You just had gummy bears, right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Whatever. We'll be fine.
What's your blood sugar?
It's
80. Why is it beeping at 80?
You're asking me a lot of questions I don't have the answer to.
Oh, I did lower it a little bit because you were going away, but I thought I lowered it to 75.
Well, it's coming back up, I can see. So, everyone can calm down. We're all good.
No, I don't think anybody was not calm.
It feels like you weren't calm.
So you could probably get up in the morning and eat before the 11 a.m. if you wanted to.
If I'm awake.
You're also not a...
Morning person?
A breakfast person, really.
I don't like to eat, before, 10:30 in the morning.
Right.
I feel sick.
So... that's... to tell people why you just acted like that, a monitor started to dim, and I think she thinks that's the one that's recording the show, but that's one.
We're already 9 minutes into this. We cannot start again.
We're not
gonna much time.
It's fine. We're not going to have to start again. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you can edit. Look at you.
Why would we edit?
I'm saying you could edit it if it stopped.
If it got messed up, we could edit it.
Okay.
Okay. So I see that. So what are our real concerns? The heat is going to be different.
These feel like your real concerns.
Well, diabetes concerns.
These still feel like your concerns.
Heat, walking, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
How are you going to prepare for that?
I'll bring a fan. I'm just kidding. I'll figure out how it goes and then I'll fix it after that. I don't know how else you would prepare for that. There's no preparation yet.
So you don't see anything different than normal. You're going to walk with some sort of food, some sort of fast acting.
I always do that, yes.
Yeah, you'll have juice with you and food.
Yes.
That's pretty much it.
Yes.
Now, you've been taking care of your blood sugar pretty much by yourself for the last year, I'd say, right?
Very well.
Yeah, been doing a great job. You really have. We've had one snafu.
Almost death. No biggie.
Wasn't almost death.
I mean, okay.
It was bad,
yeah.
Right? Can you tell me what you remember of the evening, and I'll fill in the details. When you have diabetes and use insulin, low blood sugar can happen when you don't expect it. Gvoke HypoPen is a ready-to-use glucagon option that can treat very low blood sugar in adults and kids with diabetes ages 2 and above. Find out more. Go to gvokeglucagon.com/juicebox. Gvoke shouldn't be used in patients with pheochromocytoma or insulinoma. Visit gvokeglucagon.com/risk. In just a few minutes, you're going to hear Arden and I talk about a low blood glucose incident that she had very recently. And I'm just going to tell you that when you hear the story, you're going to recognize very quickly how bad it could have been and how lucky we were about how it went. And you're going to realize how much the Dexcom G6 had to do with stopping a bad situation from becoming a disaster. If you're using insulin, I can't recommend enough the Dexcom G6. Head over to dexcom.com/juicebox to find out more about the glucose monitoring system that my daughter has been wearing for years and the one that helped us in the story you're about to hear. Dexcom.com/juicebox. You may be eligible for a free 10-day trial of the Dexcom G6. Honestly, I don't feel like I have to say this, but With the Dexcom G6, up to 10 people can follow you or your loved one's blood sugars in real time on their phone. Right now, my daughter's been at college for a week. Let me just pick up my phone, open it up, and I can see that Arden's blood sugar is currently 95 and very stable. You can do that as well with the Dexcom G6. Up to 10 people can follow, like a school nurse, your dad, a loved one, your wife, anyone that you want. Dexcom shows you the speed and direction of your blood sugar, and it allows you to set up alerts and alarms at the thresholds that you want. I sincerely hope you check it out. In the story you're about to hear, Arden was wearing the do-it-yourself loop algorithm, but it wasn't enough to overcome the variables that led to the story you're about to hear. And to be completely blunt, the Dexcom G6 and those alerts and alarms saved her ass. I really hope you check it out, and while you're at it, please make sure you're carrying glucagon. All right, ready? Everybody get ready. It's a scary story, but it all ends well, obviously, so don't worry. Let's get back to Arden.
Do I tell the story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Late one night. I'm just kidding. So, at the end of May, I had my prom, my senior prom. I looked great. Beside the point.
You did.
Yeah, I looked fantastic. So, went to prom, and then as I went to prom, my parents went to my brother's college graduation, so they were not home that night. So, knowing that this was going to happen, my mom made sure that 3 of my friends slept over that night in case, anything happened. And just because my prom, it goes in the order of red carpet at the high school, then you go to the actual prom, and then you go to like an amusement sort of park until around 4 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. You don't really get 4:30 in the morning-ish. You don't really get back to the school till like 5:30 in the morning, and then you don't get home till like 6.
Yeah.
So we were basically gone. I was basically moving from like 10 a.m. that day till 6 a.m. Like almost 24 hours straight. So I go to the prom and I come home at like 6 in the morning. Me and my friends, take all of our makeup off. We get in pajamas and we get down to go to bed. And I remember waking up once to drink a juice because my blood sugar was low. And I was like, okay, whatever.
And we called you about that.
You called me, but I was already on top of that before
Okay.
you had called me. I was like, okay, whatever. Let me just go back to sleep. My blood sugar was not like particularly low either.
Yeah, your blood sugar was really good the whole day, actually.
Yeah, it was really good. And then it wasn't like, it was like in the like high 70s, like going down, I think, when you called me. Mm-hmm. And I drank a juice. Like I didn't feel dizzy at all. I was like, oh, I drank a whole juice, which usually like shoots me up pretty quick. I was like, I'll be fine. Let me just go back to sleep. If anything happens, I'll take care of it. So I go back to sleep. And there we are. I didn't wake up again because I was seizing. So my dad called me and I picked up the phone. Let me just tell you, I don't remember ever picking up the phone, ever. Like, I have no recollection of doing this. But for some reason, my body gave me the ability to pick up the phone, and he talked to me, and this is where you have to come in, because I don't know what you said to me.
So, the real, like, the one thing that I did, so I stayed up till like 2 in the morning that night watching you, and you were super stable, and I thought, wow, this is going really, really well. And Kelly woke me up the first time. I guess it was around 6:30 or so.
Which was around the time I was like
drinking the first juice.
Yeah, and I was like, I had just fallen asleep. Like
Right.
I was barely asleep when it happened.
So you guys had just gone to sleep. Kelly woke me up and said, hey, Arden's low. And I called you and we spoke and you drank the juice. And I looked at your graph and everything about your graph said that this juice was going to do what it needed to do. Mm-hmm. And so people should understand probably that for just because of bad timing, Arden's, like she said, her prom was the same day as our son's college graduation. So he actually graduated Sunday. Her prom was on Saturday, or is it Friday, Saturday?
Oh, I don't.
Whatever.
The whole point is, when I was after my red carpet, you guys left.
We had to leave. Yeah. We did the red carpet. Then Kelly and I just, boom, we went home, took a shower. We drove off, spent the night. We saw Cole at a party, went to bed. And I stayed up watching your blood sugar like the whole time. Absolutely terrific. The one thing I didn't realize is that at like 3 o'clock in the morning, you ate French toast sticks.
Yeah, so the event, the amusement thing we were at, they did this thing so that like every hour they'd put out a new food, and then it hit like 3 o'clock in the morning, and that was our breakfast, I guess. And I hadn't eaten since I was at the prom at like 8 p.m. And I was like, I'm kind of hungry. Like, we're up. Like, I feel like I should do this to stay awake. So I got like I got literally like 3 French toast sticks and like a little bit of syrup. That was like, it was barely anything. And I also gave myself like no insulin at all, really. I was like, cause I don't want to get low, blah, blah, blah. And which was weird because this happened 3 hours after I ate those.
Yeah. That bolus for those French toast sticks was probably not necessary at all.
Which, yeah, but how am I supposed to know that? You know what I mean?
I think you did. Listen, I don't think you did anything wrong. I think you told me afterwards, and we'll get to it, that you think that there were just so many different variables that day that it.
Dad, we're not there yet.
All right.
God.
So anyway, so I call Arden. She drinks the juice, and then I have to get up and take a shower to go to Cole's graduation. So I'm, go into the bathroom. I do what you do in the bathroom, and then I'm getting ready to get in the shower. Well, I have to say there was a passage of time, a little bit of time, not a lot, right? And I'm standing in front of the mirror. It's embarrassing. I'm standing in front of the mirror in the hotel. I'm completely naked. Like, I'm getting ready to step into the shower.
Okay.
And I think, let me just look at Arden's blood sugar one more time. And I flipped my phone open, and it said low. And the arrow was like diagonal down.
So this is when you call me.
So I call you again.
I pick up the phone.
And you're like, hello. And I go, Arden, you're really low. Drink another juice. And do you know what you said?
No. Oh, my God.
Sorry. You said, what? And I go, drink the juice. There's a juice next to you. Drink it. You're really low. And you go, what? And I said, you have to drink a juice. And then you said, I can't. And then you kept saying that you couldn't. You're like, I said, Arden, drink the juice. I can't. And then I started getting panicky. And I recognized this far awayness in your voice as you being too low. And so I was like, Arden, drink the juice. And you're like, I can't. And then
I said, I'm jumping.
Yes.
Right.
You started saying, I'm jumping.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, she's going to have a seizure. So I knew you were in the living room and that your friends were in there as well. So I said, wake up the girls. And you just said, I can't. And I was like, just yell their names. And I was trying to get you to think. I was like, tell me who's there. And I thought if you thought of the name, and you're like, I can't, I'm jumping. So you were like going like in and out of consciousness probably.
So first we should say that his problem solving skills come in hand, and he screams through the phone. Like, the phone is not on speaker. He just screams so loud that my phone isn't even turned up all the way, and a girl heard it in her sleep and jumped up. So I guess this is where I'll take over again.
Yeah.
So my friend, her name is Nadia, she jumps up, and so the rest of the story is not really from my perspective. It's from what I've been told. So you know what? Maybe there's a big lie. Maybe they lied to me.
Well, I can tell you what happened.
Well, I got it.
Go
I got it. So, I mean, you can jump in, but so what I know is that Nadia came over, and at this point, from my point of view, from what I remember, is I don't like not remember the situation at all. I just like remember bits and pieces of it. So from my point of view, when all my friends had jumped up and they were running around to get stuff, it seemed like when you watch a movie and someone's like was in a surgery and they wake up and like they're opening their eyes and they show that point of view and everything's flashing. Mm-hmm. It felt like that. So when my eyes were open, my friend would be in the corner of our living room, and then when I blinked, she was in front of my face. It was like she moved at like the speed of light, and she was like right in front of me. So that was like odd, and I know I was moving a lot. Like I know I was jumping. Like the word would be seizing.
Right.
I know that was happening to me, but my friends explained to me that they think that I must have like subconsciously heard you say you're having a seizure, and that must have like scared the it out of me because I was hyperventilating. And I'm sure like a lot of people probably do that, but Nadia said that she looked at me in the eyes and it didn't look like, oh, she's like just having a seizure. Like it was almost like I looked at her like, you need to save my life. Like I know something's happening and like I'm having a panic attack about it.
Right.
So we think that's what happened. We think all the hyperventilating was purely just like anxiety. So that's what's happening to me. And with all the jumping around, like at the end of this, like I ended up with like rug burn all over me and like scratches all over my wrists. So my friend Nadia comes over and one of them, I think Olivia, my friend Olivia was there too. She gave me my first juice box, so I'm told. And she gave me the first juice. And then I remember you saying to test my blood sugar, that you need to test my blood sugar, that's important. While Olivia's doing this, test my blood sugar. And Nadia's searching around on this table next to me and she goes like, it's not here, none of her stuff is here. And I was like, because in the back of your head, it's like all my mobility, like all that's kind of gone. Like I can't move, I can't see correctly, like everything's going in and out my ears and I can't speak, but I'm listening to what you guys are saying, like in and out. And I was thinking, it's prom, I moved all of my equipment into my prom clutch, which they would not have thought to look into. So I was like, oh my God, like because I was not in a situation where I could just be like, oh, hey, Nadia, why don't you grab my prom clutch and we'll test my blood sugar? So it took everything in me, but I worked up the ability to move my left hand. And it was like I fidgeted at the prom clutch and I kept doing it. And I was just hitting it and hitting it and hitting it, like barely touching it. And she looked at me and I was like, I gave her like this wide look with my eyes and I'm hitting it. And she's like, oh. So she gets the prom clutch. By the way, the hardest bag to open in my entire life. It's literally like a Rubik's Cube. She finally gets it open. My friends have seen me test my blood sugar before, so they do that for me and everything. Nadia tests. And then while this is happening, Olivia's giving me another juice, like all that's going on. And I remember when it was happening, you had told Nadia to go get something. I don't know what you told her to get because I know that her body was moving to go get something.
Right.
And I remember her hand like touching mine because I was hitting myself, so she stopped me from hitting myself and I squeezed her because I was like, you can't move because it's messing with my head, because every time you move it's like freaking me out because you're like jumping around.
You were trying to hold her
so I was trying to make sure like someone was next to me the whole time.
Right.
So I held her there to make sure that she was with me the whole time. Olivia was feeding me juice boxes, which by the way, I could not, like, I know Nadia was near me. I have no recollection of Olivia being anywhere near me at all during this whole process. But she was giving me juice boxes. And then my friend Sanj was there. She got the bread later, but like she didn't do much in the beginning.
Helpful. Yeah.
So this whole thing happened, and I remember like, calming down and everything, and you were still on the phone with us. We tested my blood sugar a couple more times. But I would say that this lasted, like the whole jumping and everything, this lasted like a good half hour. Like, it did.
Is that how it feels to you?
Well, they talked to me too, and they said, because even after, like, I wasn't like seizing per se, I was still like that sort of thing.
Okay.
You just like weren't there to hear me. Like, you were talking to her, not to me. And every time you asked me something, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, it was like that, but I was still, moving around. So then I would say, like, it took, like, an hour for me to just be like, oh, okay, like, that's over. Mm-hmm. But it did take a couple of days to feel, like normal again.
Right.
But, so this whole thing happened. You went to Cole's graduation that day. Really fun day for all of us.
Do you want to hear about it from my perspective on the other side of the phone?
Yeah, and then I'll tell you what happened after.
Okay.
That.
So I screamed in the phone when I realized Arden wasn't going to be able to help herself or get the girls. I just started screaming. And Nadia said, I'm here. What do I do? And I said, get her to drink a juice. And I said, the juice is right there. It's right next to her. Get her to drink the juice. And she's like, okay. And then another voice came in, and I sent somebody to get the glucagon.
Oh, I think Nadia that's what she was going to get up to get.
Yeah.
And I grabbed her hand.
And you kept her there.
Yeah.
Because I was like, somebody has to go get the glucagon, because if this juice doesn't work, we have to give her the glucagon.
Which, by the way, at the end of all of this, when they got home and I explained the story, they said, oh, we probably should have gave you the glucagon because the juice was coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, so what I didn't know, because I was on the other end of the phone just giving directions and not there to see what was happening, is that Arden really wasn't drinking the juice as much as they were squirting it in her mouth. And I guess you absorbed enough of it to kind of bring you back, because this whole thing, the from Arden drink the juice, I can't, to Nadia saying I'm here, to you not seizing anymore, it probably only took like 3 minutes. It happened, that part of it was really quick.
That did not feel quick to me.
I would not think
yeah,
it would
but
feel
I
so.
think like before I started to speak in sentences again,
That was
probably about a half hour.
Yeah, so no, for sure. So we got your, so they gave you juice, then I said for you to get, I said have her eat something solid like bread, to, you know, so that your stomach could like not just be full of juice, and to hold you up, because I wasn't sure what the insulin was going to do still, because because at that moment still, I didn't know you had insulin. Like, this was really crazy that this happened to me, because I didn't realize that you had bolused anything before that. And I didn't think you had insulin for like 5 or 6 hours.
To be fair, it was about like 3, almost 4 hours, which is pretty like that's kind of insane. So,
well, the peak of the insulin could be 3 hours. I mean, the life of the insulin could be that long. But still,
it was like, and it was also those like really crappy like French toast sticks from like that you'd heat up in the oven that like hit you really hard.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just odd.
Right. So there was probably, the loop probably gave you boluses in there too, maybe if it tried, but you didn't get that high afterwards, because I look back later and you were never that high after the, like maybe 130 or 140 after the French toast sticks.
I don't know. My brain was kind of shut off that night.
So the whole thing was crazy, because like I said, at 2 a.m. when I went to sleep, I was like, I can't believe how well this went today. And it was first of all, it was incredibly frightening, because I'm standing there in front of the mirror.
Naked, by the way.
And I'm thinking, okay, I'm 3 hours away by car, and this is Cole's graduation, and I can't leave here. And I was thinking, I cannot let Arden have a seizure.
But like, you couldn't, you know.
No, but this is what was going through my head. Like, don't let this happen, was what was going through my head. Like, think of something. So all of the skills that I have from talking on this podcast came in really handy, because I was able to walk the girls through everything. I was able to kind of hear what was happening to you. I could ask them questions about how you were, to try to, figure it out. And in no time, really, I mean, from the time I picked up the phone and called you until your blood sugar was 60 again, was less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now this is the craziest part from my perspective. You were okay. I had to get in the shower or we were going to be late for Cole's graduation. So I'm like, okay. So I walked. First I looked in the mirror after I knew Arden was okay, and I thought, I have got to lose weight. And then I walked into the room. I woke Kelly up. I was like, Kelly, wake up. And she's like, what? I'm like, I have to get in the shower. Arden just had a seizure. I stopped it. She's okay. But you need to wake up and start paying attention to her blood sugar, because I have to jump in the shower. So Mom got up and did that.
Well, that's a nice way to wake up.
What the hell was I going to say? I was so upset. Like, I was incredibly upset. When it worked out, I couldn't believe that we stopped it. But it was just, I don't know. I want to say it was lucky, but it was crazy. Your blood sugar dropped so fast. Well, it was all lucky.
The fact that I picked up the phone was lucky.
Right.
The fact that you even looked before you got in the shower was lucky, and the fact that Nadia heard you was lucky. Yeah. It was all luck.
Right.
If they weren't there, I'd be dead. And
if I didn't call, then it would have been up to them waking up to this and figuring out what to do. And
maybe my fat ass could have just not eaten some fucking French toast sticks.
And as great as they were, and this was really interesting for people, 3 girls that Arden's known forever. Like, these girls grew up in my house as much as they did in their own house. One of them kind of froze and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And one of them was helpful, but not a leader in the situation.
Yeah.
Nadia took over and, like, she took care of it.
Yeah.
And she, like, it was amazing. Yeah. Like, so even those mix of girls, because people say all the time, like, oh, I explained it to my neighbor, or don't worry, they understand. But you don't know how people are going to react until,
because 2 out of 3 of those people probably would have been like, if Nadia hadn't said, like, go do this and go do that.
She got very, like, she helped direct everybody.
Yeah. Also, you said this previously, so you guys obviously, like, don't know my friends, so I'm not going to, like, tell you about their lives. But out of all of my friends, Nadia's probably had, like, one of the tougher lives.
Yeah.
So she's been through more traumatic events, which leads to a more like, how about everyone just shut up and let's save Arden.
Let's do this. Yeah. Nadia's seen some shit. Like, this isn't the worst thing that's ever happened to her, I don't think. So she was just like, do this. And I have to say, they were amazing. And, I would, obviously very grateful. But you're not wrong. If I don't look at the thing, like, that was it. Like, I somehow called you 45 seconds before you were going to have a seizure.
Yeah.
That was it.
And I somehow picked up that phone.
Yeah. And you picked up the phone, and then the yelling woke everybody
to be
up.
fair, like, I don't remember looking at my phone. Like, imagine if I had declined you by accident.
Right.
Like, just all that stuff.
I would have kept calling back.
Happened on the
I
whim.
also would have called the girls after that.
Yeah.
But it's just that time was important because, like she said, she had rug burn. It was on her elbows because she was elbowing the chair she was sitting in.
Yeah, we have like this. It's like this chair. It's like a giant chair sort of thing that has like you can put your feet up or whatever. But it's like almost like it's like a small sofa, honestly. Mm-hmm. And the sides of it, I just was hitting so hard that I had. So it was very weird because like all my kind of senses kind of leave my body, and then they start coming back to me. And at the end, it was like. Almost like, because I had lost the feeling in like my hands. Like I didn't really feel my hands for like 15 minutes.
Right.
And the feeling starts to come back to me. I'm like, oh, what is that? I was like, that hurts so bad. It felt like someone was like pinching me, and I turned my elbow, and Liv's like, oh my God, like you're bleeding. And I was like, from what? And I just had this giant rug burn on my arm. And so they cleaned that up.
And you also she'd gotten her nails done and had rhinestones put on her fingernails.
Oh, yes. And they were the nails were scratching all over my arms and all that stuff.
The rhinestones are what scratched you when you were moving your hands, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, why do we tell you all this as Arden is leaving for college?
I feel like the best part of this is that we got PJ's Pancake House after.
And then the girls couldn't... Well, Arden and two of her friends.
What? Let me finish the story.
Go ahead.
Since we're at it.
Why not?
You can take it out if you want to.
No, you got it.
But, so yeah, this whole thing happens. We sit on the couch for a minute. And we just kind of, look around. Nadia and Liv like sat on the side of me and kind of like squished me in. So I just, stayed where I was. I'm eating my bread that you told me to eat. And then at one point you were like, okay, you can stop eating that. It's fine. Sanj is asleep on the ground again.
She fell back asleep.
My friend's asleep on the floor again. And we're like, are you...
Be clear. Not drunk. Not high.
No, we don't do any of that. Just asleep on the ground because she's tired. So we started taking the bread and throwing it at her. We're just trying to have fun. And then, like this whole thing happens. And, it's kind of hard to go back to sleep after that. So we're like, I guess we got an hour of sleep today. And we all wake up. Our hair's still, like, fried because we have all of this, like, spray in it from, like, the day before. Like, we obviously didn't shower before we went to bed. We just took our makeup off and went to sleep. And I went, okay. And Nadia goes, why don't we go get some fresh air? So we went on a drive, and we got the girls' Starbucks or whatever. I just kind of sat there. And then we brought Sanj a cake pop, which she ate, and then went back to sleep after that, just so you're all aware, just to keep you updated. I, took a shower and everything. We went to Liv's house so she could shower, Nadia, all of them. Everyone showers. And then we went to PJ's Pancake House. We didn't know what else to do. We weren't going to make breakfast, and we all had to eat. So we were like, okay. So we went out, we ate, we came back, and then they stayed with me that day until my parents got home because, obviously.
We didn't get home until 7 p.m. Like 12 hours
and
later.
Nadia was the last one there. She stayed with me the longest. And then her boyfriend came. He got us food, too, because we weren't going to make anything.
We got home, and Arden was shaken. And, I mean, she's, at that time, are you 17 still at that time?
Well, yeah. So when we got home, everyone kind of calmed down a little bit and started to, like, doze off. Like, we put, like, a movie on, and everyone started to doze off. And I was like, I checked my phone, like, 7 times. And I was like, okay, I can go to sleep. Like, I'm fine. I can go to sleep. So I put my head down. But, like, as soon as, like, I went into, like, a deep sleep, like, I was like, and I woke up, and I was like, okay, so I can't go to sleep. So then I just sat there.
Because you were nervous.
I wouldn't even say, like, I was sitting there, and I was like, oh, my God, like, that just happened. I'm so nervous. I think just, like, subconscious. I was like, you cannot go back to sleep. Like, this is just, like, wait till someone gets home.
So I called you from the road. I talked to you the entire ride home because I felt so bad for not being
And
there.
we told him the whole story on the way home,
Yeah.
like from our perspective too, because it had settled, and we were like, "Oh my god!" So guess what happened over here?
It was crazy. But we got home, and then it was 3 nights. You couldn't sleep in your bed for 3 nights. You slept with me and Mom for 3 nights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know why? Like, can you put words to why?
I just couldn't fall asleep.
Okay.
I think I just like knew like, oh, he's gonna take, like, he's there, he'll take care of this for like this night, blah blah blah. And then the third night hit, and I was like, okay, what am I doing? Let me go back to bed.
Right. So at what point do you say to me, it was that night we got home, and you said to me kind of out of the blue, you were like, I know what happened, and I'm not worried about it happening again. I know how this happened.
So this was like so I feel like you talk to most kids who are my age about to go to college 15 hours away, and they're like, I literally had a seizure 4 months ago. This is not going to be okay. Like, blah, 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 blah. I mean, sure, like, still in the back of my head, I'm like, Arden, you had a seizure 4 months ago when you were asleep, so be careful when you're asleep, like, all that stuff. But I was thinking about it. I was like, none of this was my fault, like, at all. There was nothing here that was my problem. So I realized, so it was the end of May, but, like, somehow the hottest day we've ever had, like, that whole year.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, it was probably the hottest day we've had. I was up. Now, let me just preface, 10 o'clock is very early for Arden, so I was up pretty early. I got my makeup done, I got my hair done, I was running around doing that. I came home. I did not eat anything.
You had
I got
a salad at Olivia's.
I got dressed. We went to go take photos, and I had a salad at my friend's house, but like barely. Like it was like one of those days where I was like, oh my god, like we're going to prom. Like I was like not worried about eating, but just like I was like couldn't eat a bunch. I was just like, okay, let's keep going because we had to make it to the red carpet and blah blah. We're moving around all day. We're moving around. It's hot outside. I'm up late. All this stuff happens, and I was just like, none of that was my fault. Like I was like, I never stay up till 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't even run. Like, I've never had this much activity in one day. I was like, and then there's adrenaline on top of that.
Yeah.
Where, like, I wasn't sitting there like, oh my God, prom. But, probably, like, my body's like, okay, like, it's prom. Like,
Right.
you gotta look good, like, all this stuff. So there's, like, adrenaline with all that, like, jumping around, all that stuff. So I was like, if this was just me and I had French toast sticks, and then I gave myself this insulin, it would have hit me much harder, and then I would have been right about my bolus, and I would have just went to bed. And I was like, none of this was my fault at all.
The way I see it in retrospect is that the entire day you were probably excited, or you had adrenaline going.
Yeah.
So we were looking at these amazing blood sugars for 10 or 12 hours, like 80 to like 110 at that best. And they were just, they looked magical. And I thought, wow, I can't believe how well, this is working. And you had dinner and you bolused well. You went up a little bit, 150, but you came back and you were level again.
Yeah, I did everything pretty, even like at the prom, the food selection was not like, I wasn't at like a resort or anything. Is
right.
that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. Sorry, the screensaver happened again. But it was just like, it was like a little buffet sort of thing. But it was almost like there's so many kids in my grade that it was like, get to the buffet so you can eat. Mm-hmm. And at that point, like I wasn't even that hungry. I didn't even eat that much. I had 3 Shirley Temples and like barely give myself insulin at all.
Now see, this is the part where if I would have known that stuff, we would have set like some overrides. And
but I didn't know that yet.
Right.
I wasn't told. Let me tell you guys this too, is the whole override thing was like making sense in my brain like 2 months ago. So this wasn't,
well, I'm saying we would have just dialed back your insulin for the whole day.
Yeah, I named my dog Basil and not knowing what that meant at all. I was like, ooh, Basil.
My point is that the one disconnect of me not being there is that I couldn't see how active you were. And I didn't know about the Shirley Temples. Like if you would have if we would have spoken, you said, look, I've drank 3 Shirley Temples today and not really bolused for anything, I would have said, okay, let's do this. And so I thought that way too. Yeah.
I thought that when I was giving myself insulin for the French toast. And then I was like, yeah, but you were like at prom and now it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Like all that adrenaline was like, the only adrenaline that I had was the adrenaline keeping me awake. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like excitement. It was like, I wanted to leave at 1 in the morning. Yeah. I was like, after that prom, I was like, I could go home and I'd be fine with this. But I did start to get low. Our bus driver terrible bus driver. Like, brought us to the wrong place. We were on the bus for like an hour longer than we were supposed to be, and I started to get low there too. And I was like, oh, like that's
What time was that?
like 1 maybe.
Yeah.
And then it was like 4 when I ate this stuff, and I was like, or 3, I mean, and it just hit me. I was like, okay, this is over. I want to go home. I'm not excited about this anymore. Like all this stuff. I was like, I'm not moving around. I literally sat there for like the last 2 hours just in a chair, like nodding off, just like putting my head down.
Yeah.
So I had thought like the heat was gone. I didn't think like any of that was going to affect me anymore.
Yeah. So I think the adrenaline, the activity, the lack of sleep is a big thing.
Yeah. Not even just for this, but like for my brain.
Yeah.
I probably did not sleep for 42 hours straight.
After
because I had trouble sleeping that whole day too. So if you think about it, I had to be somewhere at 10. I woke up at 9. Then Sorry.
Okay, get back to the mic.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I was stretching. So I had to be somewhere at 10, woke up at 9. I got home at 6, got an hour of sleep, woke up at 7 again, and then that whole day too.
Yeah.
I was awake because I was waiting for you to get home. So I had like no sleep at all.
Well, anyway, there were a lot of variables, and you did a really great job with most of it, and you just didn't have it. I don't think you saw the big picture big enough. Not that it's your fault, but it just, you know what I mean? Like there were so many things happening. There was a lot of math, and I don't think you got it all.
Yeah.
It all came together. But a couple of days later, you were eating something, and you made this like aggressive bolus for it.
Okay.
And I said, that's a good bolus. And you're like, I'm not scared of this. Like you said something like that a couple of
I
days
probably
later.
made a joke like, what do you think, I'm scared about this now? Or like, you think I'm going to seize it?
But you don't feel scared?
No.
Okay. And so what did you learn from it for school, for college?
Not to have a seizure.
Wow.
I don't know, just like that about the heat and all that, and the adrenaline and the moving around. And I know that usually the first couple of days of school, my adrenaline's higher. I already know that. I already know about the heat in Georgia, and know about the walking and blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to bolus later, like the first couple of days I'm there for sure.
We want to be active insulin while you're sleeping, active insulin while you're exercising. Those are 2 things you want to avoid. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're going to try not to eat late at night.
I think what that means is to decrease your basal or something. But
it means don't eat too late at night.
Hey, all right. I've been told that enough. But I like my oat milk ice cream, so I don't know what to tell you.
So,
that's good. It's oat milk s'mores ice cream. Everyone, you should go buy that.
Who told you to eat the oat milk ice cream?
I'm not doing this.
Give her propers. Do it.
No.
Really?
No, because you try to like act like you like saved my world, and I'm not
with the oat milk ice cream.
Yeah, I'm not.
It was Jenny. Jenny told you to try it.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm not part of this.
All right.
I'm not. I am not affiliated.
What movie is that?
It's Incredibles.
It's Incredibles, right? Yeah, that's great. Okay, so it really is a funny part of the movie. It's when Mr. Incredible and what's the little boy's name?
Incrediboy,
and he's trying to like glom onto his thing.
Yeah,
and
I'm just having like all these TV show references pop up now, and now I'm thinking like, oh, you're a bubby? I have a bubby.
Gonna do New Girl.
I was just because we were talking about that in the same day.
We were. Anyway, Incrediboy is trying to infer himself on Mr. Incredible, and he goes, "We're not affiliated." It's hilarious. I don't know why. It's just very funny. Okay, so we're going to do this together, right? Like, is that how you see college? It's no different than when you're at home. We're just not going to be in the same room as far as diabetes goes.
I guess. And I think that there's things that you do on your end that I'm not aware of.
Like sometimes I make changes to your insulin remotely.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's something you should probably tell me now.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what I wanted to tell you is that I think that using your story about the seizure and seeing the gaps where I didn't know things like that you ate, or I didn't know that you had...
Maybe, like, I think... Sorry to cut you off, but I think part of my problem as a person, this is an overall thing, is I hate when I'm being told what to do. Mm-hmm. For example, there is a water next to me that has a powder in it that is supposed to help my ovaries.
Well, your hormones. But
my
we call it your ovary water. But...
Oh, yeah, my ovarian water is what we call it. My uterus water. But whatever. It's supposed to stop me from bleeding all over the place, okay? Mm-hmm. when you tell me to mix this water or to take my pills, my brain automatically says, guess I'll do it in 30 minutes. Because I just get so pissed off. But my thing is, when it's not related to all the medical stuff, like, and it's just part of my day and it's part of my routine and I need to do it, that's fine. So maybe we could do like daily check-ins on what we're eating for lunch, but it doesn't need to be because of the blood sugar. It could just be because I'm showing you what I need to eat.
Is like, that would make it better for you?
I'm like, hey, look, this is what I'm eating for lunch. Not like, hey, look, Dad, how many carbs is this? I don't want to do that. That's right. That just like, it infuriates me.
Well, would it be okay if I texted you and asked questions? Just like, are you being like, if I looked and I saw you were like lower today, if I said, are you walking a lot, would you say yes? Or would
I lie about that?
Or would you be like, I'm not answering this question?
Thank you.
But
do you have to bleep that?
I mean, I will have to bleep it.
Oh, that's so boring.
It's kind of fun still. You can still tell.
Can I say it a couple times so you have to bleep it?
I mean, it's just going to make more work for me.
Can I please do it?
Go ahead.
Fuck. Oh, wait, you know what? I feel like I didn't really say it there.
Well, you can mix it in later.
Okay, I'll mix it in. Yeah.
So that's what I was just thinking. Like, let's take the lessons of that night from your prom and remember what I didn't know that would have been valuable for me to know and what you didn't consider.
The Pythagorean theorem.
I definitely don't know what that is.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared, Dad. It's easy.
And you can take into account what you didn't give the proper weight to. And between those two things, I think we're going to be okay.
Whoa, this seems like a good problem.
No, you know what I mean?
I think this is a good therapy session. Your problems are, I don't know, probably just not knowing what I ate. And mine are just not knowing how insulin works.
If I knew that you bolused at 3 a.m.
I know you said
that would have changed.
I know.
And if I would have known you were taking in so many uncovered carbs during the day. I
feel like I'm being lectured.
No. Then that would have been something I would have been valuable for me to know.
Okay.
And you need to remember about activity, heat, lack of sleep, adrenaline.
Well,
stuff
yeah,
like
now
that.
I know all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was really good. It was a really good lesson for me.
It was a really good lesson. I bet you don't forget it.
No, I don't. It was a great prom, everyone. By the way, prom was horrible. Let me just put it in there. Literally, like, the most boring thing I've ever went through. My 8th grade formal was better than this. I was at prom, and I was like, what are we doing? Like, let's go home. Like, I looked good, and I got my photos, and I'm done. Like, let's go home.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. They kept them out, like, literally all night.
It was obviously for, like, drinking and drugs, and they didn't want us doing that, which, by the way, I've never done in my life, and I would have been happy to go home and go to bed or watch something on TV.
Yeah.
But which honestly felt like a safety, like, thing, that they should not have kept us up that late. And it wasn't even, like some kids fell asleep there, but it was almost like you fell asleep and they were like, hey, like, get up, like, you're at prom. Like, no, like, let us go to bed. It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
All right. So it's getting late here. I want to go over 2 things before we go.
Okay.
First thing is, so everybody listening knows that you've had different troubles, like with your stomach and your period's been a mess and everything like that. And so over the years, we've tried so many things, which I'll encapsulate in some episode somewhere. But we really feel like we've come to some sort of a breakthrough on a couple of things.
I don't feel like this is a breakthrough, but I mean, if you like to phrase it that way.
Well, is it Ovastal? Is that the ovary water?
I didn't make it. How would I know?
Okay. So your bleeding was very erratic, right? And much longer than it should have been. And so we tried birth control pills for like 1.5 years, probably.
Yeah, which, by the way, I've been off of those for I don't even know how many months, and
much better.
Yeah, like thinner too.
Yeah,
like it made me gain a lot of weight.
You did not like it at all, and it did something. So, the once a month nosebleed stopped with the birth control pills, and the 11-day long periods stopped with the birth control pills.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
but
definitely wasn't pregnant.
But it didn't it wasn't like a cure-all. It had other problems. One of them was your insulin needs went up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like pretty significant.
Not on prom night.
Not on prom night it didn't. but yes it did, because on prom night your insulin was like 1.2 an hour. And today,
yes.
Do you know what it is today?
No, I have no idea.
It's like 0.9.
Wow.
It's a significant decrease. Mm-hmm. Your insulin sensitivity on prom night was probably like 41, and today it was like 47. So your insulin needs are going the other way, and I think it's because you're drinking this stuff. and it's balancing your hormones out.
Yes.
So we have
You're
to drink.
like Sherlock.
Well, I feel like that a little bit because this was not easy.
I know you do.
This was not easy to figure out. So you have to drink this every day, like a kind of a heaping scoop of it once a day mixed in water. It doesn't taste like anything, right? It's not a big deal. The other stuff we figured out, because you weren't like, yeah, on a schedule. Arden was like really constipated a lot.
Yeah, I couldn't. Can we say?
I mean, I'll have to bleep that out too.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think so.
This podcast.
But you know, of all the different things that we tried, we finally got a biopsy, did an endoscopy, right? And they looked in there, they saw your stomach was inflamed and that you weren't like food
digesting.
Yeah, your food digestion was slow. And so all we ended up doing was adding a digestive enzyme to meals. And it has made like a really big difference, right? Are you yawning? It is late.
Yeah, it's 12:07
Okay.
a.m. and we have to leave at 5. But yes, yeah.
So
I should better. Oh, sorry. Come.
So we added a
Joe
digestive
Rogan can say it.
a digestive enzyme to meals. We added magnesium once a day and a probiotic once a day.
Yes.
And it's made a big difference, but not just for you and your digestion, but it's made a big difference about your boluses too.
Yes.
Yes. So you've been needing less insulin, and have not been having spikes through meals that we normally see spikes through.
That would be correct.
Yeah. It's pretty,
Good answer.
it's pretty amazing, right?
To me, we did not add those things. We added that pill bottle, that one, and then that one right there.
It's fixing a lot of problems. So between you and I don't want to bug you while you're in college.
That's not true.
I really don't. I don't want to bug you. I just need you to do these things. Okay.
I agree.
That's it. Okay. So let me just go over this with you very quickly, and then I'm going to let you go. Your basal's super important. If your basal's wrong, everything's going to be messed up. Just try to listen for a second.
I am listening with my eyes closed.
All right. You have to pre-bolus your meals, right? You have to do a reasonable carb count on things. You can't just whack-ass guess everything, okay? You're going to have to try to get some carb counts for some things.
I'm a great guesser.
Okay. Try not to have active insulin while you're exercising or walking to class. Right? You don't want to have a bunch of
I don't walk.
Okay, active insulin going.
No kidding.
We're going to try not to eat it late at night. We're going to try not to make big boluses late in the evening. I think that's going to be a big help.
So, don't eat and don't walk.
Don't walk, don't eat.
Don't breathe.
And sleep standing up. No, but that stuff makes sense, right?
Good answer. Yeah.
It does make sense. Okay. So those are the things that, because you have to understand that when I'm not there to see what you're doing, I can't tell you, hey, Arden, try this or try that. Like, you know, it's going to be a lot of us hopefully talking. Do you think we'll talk by phone, FaceTime?
This feels personal. This doesn't feel like it's about the diabetes.
How do you think we'll do it?
Maybe WhatsApp, since I'll be using it.
Oh, because Sanja's going to London.
Yeah. Okay. Just do a bit WhatsApp. It's so funny.
So we're just going to have to stay connected a little bit till we get everything settled. And then I think the biggest thing is that you can't, I don't want you living scared, but you can't also think that it's just magically going to be okay.
Hey, I mean, there's other things to worry about, like rape.
Sure. You could be sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Sure. Are you taking your taser?
Oh my God, I didn't pack my taser. Do you think I should?
I mean, your cousin gave you a taser for your birthday. I don't know why you wouldn't take it with you.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
I'm not sure if you're allowed to have a taser, by the way.
Why not?
It seems dangerous, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they can't stop me.
You don't think? The school can't say you're not allowed to have a taser?
I don't. If you're walking in a city alone, they have no right over what you can have.
Yeah. I guess so.
If you can have pepper spray, why can't you have a taser?
I don't know. Let's find out. Also, the school was really great about setting up accommodations, like letting you have another.
Do these people know where I'm going? Don't tell them.
I don't think they exactly
Chicago. You can all find me in Chicago.
Look for me in the Windy City. But they were nice about allowing you to have a small insulin refrigerator in your room, and they're going to let you put supplies because your classes are going to be kind of spread out across the city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to let you put supplies in different places.
If we had more time, I'd talk about that.
Yeah. Well, we will.
How far away my classes
You're
are.
going to come on the podcast while you're at school. It'll be a good time for us to chat.
I might be busy that day.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will.
You're not busy. You're not going. What are you going to school to be a neuroscientist? No.
I hate that you can't curse.
You can curse. It just has to be bleeped out.
No, but it wasn't really a curse. It was harsh.
Well, all right. So do you have anything you want to say? Okay. Do you know that you have the second most popular episode ever on the podcast?
As I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what beat you?
Can I guess?
Sure.
Is it one of the people who's like founded this stuff or something?
It was the announcement of Omnipod 5. The CEO came on.
Yeah, the CEO.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
That one has a couple thousand more downloads than yours does.
A couple of thousand.
They're neck and neck.
It's probably like their wife or something.
Do you think people are going to be like so? The reason I think it's valuable to tell your story about prom night too is that after the shock was over and after we examined what was done and what we do, we didn't go backwards. And I know, and I've interviewed a lot of people who have lived for years with very high A1Cs because they've had a low blood sugar. They were scared and they stopped taking good care of themselves because of that. But I was very proud of you that didn't happen to you. So being serious.
Yes.
It was, don't be stupid.
I'm not being stupid. This is my serious voice.
No, I was really proud of you the way you bounced back from it. It was a lot to handle. And you did a really admirable job of thinking it through and then just moving on. I thought that was really great.
Yes.
Seriously. Mm-hmm. So now you've had...
What? I had what?
You've had 3 seizures.
I don't remember.
Well, you were a little baby. You were 2 when you had your first one.
You know whose fault that was?
That was my fault.
That was your fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep that in the back of your head, Scott.
You
guys listen to this guy.
Yeah. Arden tried to eat Chinese food when she was 2. We did not know what she was doing. That was not great. We fixed that one with glucose gel in your cheek. Which, by the way, is what happened because those girls were squirting juice in your mouth. It was probably just do you think you were swallowing it even?
Dad, I don't know what was happening. You're asking a lot of questions.
And then the second time it happened, we were in Disney when you were like 4, maybe.
I hate Disney World.
Yeah, I know you don't like it there.
If any of you like Disney World, guess what? I don't.
It's okay. Everybody doesn't have to like the same thing. But
what?
You got a popsicle after a long day of activity.
Yeah.
And I didn't know not to bolus.
That's a good treat.
Yeah. I didn't know. And we fixed that one with glucose gel too. I've told that story on the podcast before. That one's funny because it ends up with glucose gel like all over the ceiling of the
hotel?
Of the hotel room. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that story.
It's great. I'll tell you about it.
They all know more about me than I do.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
This one was genuinely scary because we weren't around.
Yeah, and because I'm an adult now, so I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Okay.
You have more context for what happened too. Yeah. Well, I hope you have a great time at college.
Thanks.
Don't talk to boys.
What? Never mind.
No talking to boys. Don't do drugs. Don't drink.
Never done drugs. Never drank. I drank once, actually. Some wine Mom put on the turkey. That was it.
Turkey
so
wine?
Bad.
So do you think much will change about who you are in college?
No, not at all, honestly. Really not at all.
Do you think Cole thinks you're going to change?
I think Cole wishes I'm going to change.
Today I felt like he was saying, like, you'll see what happens.
No, I felt like today was a little personal.
No, I felt like he was saying, you'll see what happens when you go. Like
maturity, probably like living on my own, but I don't think like I'm going to change.
Right.
Which I'm sure a lot of people, like, I know a lot of people probably like, oh my God, I'm never going to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And then they end up, like, heroin user, but, I know it was a leap, but, I don't give a shit. Damn it.
It's okay.
I just don't care about any of that stuff.
Right.
At all.
I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And we're going to take care of you and just be safe.
They don't let me light candles, so.
They won't let you light candles?
No.
That's
God.
Okay. You'll be okay.
What am I going to do?
Just not light candles.
I can't bring the dogs either. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Are you going to miss the dogs?
Oh my God, yeah.
It's upsetting.
Yeah, you guys will be fine. It's upsetting that they don't know why I'm gone. Like, I can't look at the dog and be like, I have to go to college, so I won't be here. It just feels like I've left them.
Yeah, you've abandoned them.
Yeah. What do I say?
There's nothing to say. They don't understand.
And anything. They give you the puppy eyes when you leave. I can't do that.
They're only puppy eyes because they're puppies.
Shut up.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate you doing this very much.
Yeah, I have a lot of oil in my hair right now.
Yeah, we're gonna go rinse your hair.
Yeah.
All right, and then we'll go take you to school. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
If someone has listened to this all the way to the end,
I'm sure they have.
I feel so sorry.
Why?
To any of these.
It's a good story.
No, well, listen, I'm fantastic to listen to, but I'm saying like I'm so sorry.
I don't understand why you're sorry.
I would never listen to this.
Arden.
What?
This podcast is incredibly popular.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Okay.
I said personally. You know how we all said not everyone has to like Disneyland? Not everyone's got to like the podcast.
Do you know I'm going to send you episodes of the podcast while you're in college?
Do you know I'm going to be busy when you send those episodes? But particularly the exact time you send the episode, I'll probably get busy right then.
Well, let me say this before you go.
Oh my God.
You have been taking care of yourself almost exclusively for like a year now. And we've been doing that on purpose because you're getting ready to go away to college. And you've done an amazing job. Like really, really good. You've kept your A1C where it's been, you know, when I've done it. You've been more in the low 6s over the last year than you had in the past. But you were fighting against the birth control pills, the hormone imbalance stuff. There's a lot of stuff. I actually think you're going to find it easier as we're moving forward to manage the insulin because you're doing those other things. But you did a really great job. So I'm proud of you. And I think you're going to be fine. I think if I drop dead right now, you'd be okay. I think you'd have to look up some words. I think we've talked about
dropping dead like 7 times during this.
It's a dropping dead episode.
Yeah.
But
oh my God, should you name it Drop Dead? Gorgeous?
I think your name's going to be in it.
Oh, what?
What if we called it like Arden's leaving for college?
No, that's so boring.
Okay.
Arden goes to Chicago. I like how the whole time we're like about the heat down, like where I'm going and all this stuff. I think we
said Georgia.
Dad?
I think we did.
Dad, you don't know crazy people.
There's definitely a few crazy people listening, but
a few.
But not all. Most of them are really nice.
I feel like more than a few.
What? No. Most of the people listening to this podcast are lovely.
Okay, yeah, okay. Sure.
All right. Do you have any messages of hope?
Hope?
No, I just said the first thing I imagined you didn't have.
What are my last words gonna be? You know, I already said in case there's like a fatal car accident or you know, something like that.
What do you mean?
In case, you know, my last words.
Do you know? Do you think people would know that you and I were talking the other week, and we were like, we said that isn't it crazy that somebody's gonna leave for college and die on the way?
Oh my God, yeah.
They live their whole life to go to college,
and then they're just gonna drive there and they're gonna die on the way.
Somebody won't make it. Yeah.
Or like they'll be paralyzed, or just something's gonna happen to someone who's going to school right now.
It could be us.
Just so you guys know, I'm not saying that you should do this.
But
fair warning, you should not do this. Wink, wink. But if you get hit by a bus that is under your college's name, free tuition.
How do you know that? Did you hear that on TikTok?
Well, yeah, because I got hit by a bus and free tuition. And then someone said this is at every college. If you get hit by one of their vehicles that the school owns, you get a free tuition.
I don't think that's a rule. I just think that's something the school does trying to get out of being sued.
Did you learn this on TikTok or did I?
In fairness, I didn't learn it on TikTok.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
12:20 a.m.
All right. We'll say goodbye.
No, I don't do goodbyes.
How about,
I do farewells.
Do you think you'll cry at all in the next couple of days? So we're driving tomorrow, and then we're spending a couple of days. Mom and I and Cole are going to stay.
Yeah, but I'll be moved in the next
We're going to move you in. You're going to be in your room, but we're going to stay behind.
Do you think I'll cry?
All
okay.
Right.
Here's what I think.
Let's do it like this. Who's going to cry first?
You.
That's fair.
Because you've already cried.
I cried yesterday 2 days ago, and we were in the grocery store. She's like,
"Why? This is the last time in the grocery store together." I was like, "Shut up."
That I was kidding about. I cried at a different time.
I saw you cry in my room yesterday.
I cried in your room yesterday?
Yeah.
When
we were packing, and you were sitting on my bed.
I was sad then, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm saying once
he tried to get away with that.
So you think I'm going to cry first there?
Yes.
Okay. And then who is least likely to cry of the four of us?
Cole?
Probably, right?
I did not cry when Cole left.
Right.
I was the comic relief when Cole left. Which was a terrible story, by the way.
What?
Because we're driving home.
Let's not tell that here. It's too low. You can come back on and tell that story.
So we're driving home, and they're crying. And I went, well, at least I'm here. Trying to be, like, funny in a way, but also, like, hey, guys, like, it'll be fine. And both of them just, like, look back at me, like, so, like, you know what? Shut up, Arden.
It's not how we
No,
looked
you know
at
what? That's how it felt. And they just looked forward again and kept crying. And I was like, okay, that didn't go over well.
This is not how we looked at you.
So anyways, Cole.
So Cole's the least likely to cry.
It'll be you, Mom.
Will you cry?
So here's my thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not the type of person to be like, oh my God, like my family's gone and blah, blah, blah. Because like in my mind, I'll be home in 3 months. And,
right.
you know, everything will be fine. But I think the only thing that'll make me upset is the dogs, honestly. Like I'm being genuinely serious.
Okay. Let's just make sure people understand. Have you ever cried in a movie?
Twice.
And what was it?
Well, one of them was the Avengers movie, like Endgame. It's when Morgan asked for the cheeseburger. I cried. It wasn't even when Tony died. It was when she asked for the cheeseburger. I don't even know why that made me cry. It was just very emotional to me. And I cried watching Hotel for Dogs.
Why?
I don't know, but you came downstairs and I was like, why am I wet? And I was like, oh my God, I'm crying. I was like 9 too. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't even about the dogs. It was when because they were foster children and they got separated.
Wait, when the foster kids got separated?
Yeah, that's when I cried.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
I didn't cry about the dogs, which is weird.
You don't think you're going to cry once while we're down there?
Like when you guys are there?
Yeah.
No. Okay. I don't think that's me. I don't think that's a lot like me. I think like maybe once you leave and I'm like, I don't think I'll like hardcore cry. Because for me to hardcore cry, you gotta like really get at me.
What's the last time you cried like that?
I don't know if I should tell the public about our family issues.
Okay.
But
when we had a big family meeting, you cried?
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. It was tough for all of us. You know, it was tough. But for all of us, by the way. It was a knife to the heart, that meeting, for each of us in our own separate ways. But that was the last time I like genuinely cried.
Yeah.
But like I'm sure like a tear will come down my eye. I'll be like, oh, like I miss the dogs and oh, they're gone. But then I'll probably be like, I don't know, go do something, make a friend.
Okay, well that's good. I think you're gonna do great.
Mm-hmm. I've been told that a lot, but I feel like you have to say that. So
you think that I have to say you're going to do great? Not you,
but like everyone I talk to, you have to be like, you're gonna do great.
If I didn't think you weren't going to do great, you don't think I would say something?
No, I do think you would say something. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about you.
Do you think I've treated you any differently since the seizure about going away to college?
Probably a little. Like a little more like, I don't think you've treated me differently, but I think you've been more like a little more pushy. Like, Arden, you gotta know this.
Yeah.
Like and then I'm like, yeah, la-di-da-da.
It's weird because it wasn't because you didn't know any. I mean, it was just such an odd situation. I 3 hours before it happened, I was looking at your graph, and I would have never imagined anything was going to happen.
Yeah.
So it was really crazy. And having said that, I mean, you're 18, and the last time your blood sugar got that low, you were 4. So. Yeah,
I am 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to wake up when you're.
So now it is technically legal if I date Tom Holland.
If you date Tom, do you want to put it out there in case he?
Yeah, in case Tom Holland hears it. Yeah, in case like your brother is a diabetic or
happen to be listening.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. What was I just gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. It's easier to, by the way, interview people when you're in the same room. This is way easier than the way I do it usually.
You're welcome.
Thank you
for living here.
Yeah.
And taking all your money.
Yeah, and everything else. Our cars are completely full of stuff. There's not a. Arden took enough clothes to like clothe 7 girls while she's there. So.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to come home and be like, I'm not bringing this many clothes next time.
I probably will. Mm-hmm. But for now.
Yeah, you got it all.
I got it all.
You got to figure it out. All right. Well, I love you, and I'm gonna miss you a lot.
That wasn't really sentimental because when you said that I was burping. But
okay. Can I tell you what I really care about?
Money.
No, I mean about you going away. I just want you to be as unencumbered as possible by diabetes.
That's a big word.
It is a big word. Yeah. I just don't want you to have to think about it very often, and I want you to be safe. And other than that, I kind of don't care. I think the rest of it's okay. I don't care what else happens. I want you to I want you to drink that water.
It's almost gone, by the way, but I felt like sipping it in this microphone was probably not the best. Like,
I want you to drink the water, take the pills, take care of your health, watch your blood sugar, learn about your blood. It would be great if you came home 3 months from now and you were like, I recognize that this food needed less insulin than that food.
I mean, I do know that about other things too.
The funny thing about diabetes with you is a lot of it, you can't articulate any of it.
Because I don't care.
No, you do.
No, like I care to stay alive,
yeah.
But I don't care about this.
No, I know, but
like if I was at one of these events you go to talk to people and blah, 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 and someone came up to me and started talking to me about diabetes, I'd look them in the face and be like, I'm so sorry. I don't want to talk about this. Yeah. Like, you need to get away from me.
Well, you wouldn't do that. You would
no,
be very
I wouldn't
polite.
put it that way. But I would be like, I'm not going to have a conversation about this.
What I'm trying to say is that I know what you know, and I watch how you handle things, and your understanding of it far exceeds your ability to talk about it.
I just don't like talking about this.
I know.
It's not like it makes me uncomfortable. I'm just, and not even like that I'm bored by it, but like I feel like a lot of people get this disease and they get wrapped into it, and I think it's good that people listen to this and join communities to, figure it out. But on my end, like, I have it figured out, and I'm not like if I don't have to talk to people, I won't. What I mean?
Yeah,
so
I understand everything you're saying, but you're missing my point.
I'm not missing your point. I know what you're saying, and I don't know how to articulate it, apparently, either.
You're not good at explaining what you know about diabetes. But you are good at explaining what you know about other things.
Like what?
I don't know. You're like, we have many lovely conversations about things where I don't feel like you struggle to put into words what you're trying to say. But you know how to do diabetes. You don't know how to talk about it. Which is fine. I don't think that matters.
I think it's because I don't enjoy talking about this at all.
I know. I see that.
Yeah.
I'm very good at talking about it.
Oh, are you?
I am.
Thanks for telling me.
But I don't even know why. Because it's a lot of technical stuff.
Because you love talking.
Yeah, but I could talk about anything.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
But this shouldn't be a thing I'm good at. Like, based on my personality. Don't you think?
I don't know. This feels like it's about you now. I feel like this was my episode.
Okay.
You should make your own episode if you want to talk about you, Dad.
Okay, I'll do that.
I'll interview you.
Will you?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that next time.
But you have to make the questions.
That's a moderator, not an interviewer.
Okay, well then I'll moderate.
So you want me to ask myself questions that you'll read to me?
They don't need to know that.
I don't think I'd need you in that scenario. What if we let people ask you questions next time you're on?
No.
You don't want to do that? A Q&A?
No.
Do you think you would come on the podcast while you're away at school?
No.
Well, thanks a lot.
That was my polite voice.
All right. Say goodbye to people.
No. I'm just kidding. Bye. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. I'll talk to you later. I mean, as soon as I push pause.
What?
Well, usually when I'm done talking to people, I'm like, well, I really appreciate you doing this. And then I'm not going to see them again after I push the button. So I'm saying thank you for coming on the podcast. And
to me? You're talking to me?
Yeah, I'm telling you thank you.
You were not looking at me. I was very confused.
I was getting ready to click on something.
Oh. I thought you were talking to like your listeners.
I appreciate you doing this with me.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, okay.
Yes, correct.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. How come you can't say you're welcome? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excellent. This has been fun, no?
Mm-hmm. Well, it would have been fun 4 hours ago.
All right. Goodbye. A huge thank you to one of today's sponsors, Gvoke Glucagon. Find out more about Gvoke HypoPen at gvokeglucagon.com/juicebox. You spell that GVOKEGLUCAGON.com/juicebox. I'd also like to thank Dexcom, makers of the Dexcom G6 continuous glucose monitor, and remind you that you can find out if you're eligible for a free 10-day trial of the Dexcom G6 or just get started at dexcom.com/juicebox. Just a couple of hours after this was recorded, we got in the car and drove Arden all the way to her new college in Chicago, right? In Georgia. And she's doing terrific. She's been there for a week today, and she's having a great time. Made some terrific friends already. Her roommates are fantastic. We sat at a lunch last weekend and explained diabetes to all of them. Showed them how to use Gvoke HypoPen, explained the insulin pump, and everything that Arden does. We got all their phone numbers, and everything's been going really well, actually. Don't worry about Arden. She's doing terrific. But I wanted to point out that when we started this recording, I really didn't think we were going to talk about this. Not because, we're hiding it, but we just sat down to talk about management stuff. And then, you heard it in the beginning. Arden just got very honest and started telling her story. And so my hope for you, after hearing this story, really the takeaway I want you to have is one of resilience. I want you to remember that something scary happened, and it didn't change how Arden takes care of herself, right? We understand maybe more what happened that day, and we'll be able to protect against it in the future. But she saw it for what it was, and she didn't let it stop her from wanting to take good care of herself. As a matter of fact, as I'm sitting here, I just opened up Night Scout, which if you use Loop, you know what that is. And I see that Arden just bolused for dinner, 70 carbs. So her blood sugar is 104. She bolused. She's out there living her life. I think I've interviewed one too many adults with type 1 who have had a scary low, and they let it impact how they take care of themselves for years afterwards. And it really was my biggest fear. After Arden's safety was clearly, locked down after this whole thing, my first and biggest fear was that she might be scared to take good care of herself after this. And I'm just very grateful that she wasn't. And I hope that you can take some of the bravery, some of Arden's attitude, and keep it for yourself. Because every day with diabetes isn't going to go the way you want. But you have to dust yourself off and keep going. I'm very proud of her. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I'll be back very soon with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast.